Hey there. Hey, I wanted to share what's happened in the last 48 hours. It's Thanksgiving season, right? And I want to say that I was called out twice over the weekend. Once by my daughter, who I got in a little deep with, and it was all my fault. There's never a reason. There's never anything that she could do that should upset me. You know, she's the light of my life. So that was one incident. We've got that straightened out and working on it. And the other one was a listener called me out when I was talking about an episode a few times ago, 3 or 4 episodes ago. I was talking about savings, and I talk about savings a lot, but I was talking about savings and, it being people used to put it under their mattress or in their mattress, or, in a hole out in the backyard and stuff like that. And I was really talking about the idea of wanting to save, that it's very important to save. And even if the interest rates are really low that you're getting back from the bank, you at least want to be saving there. If you're not saving in a whole life, you want to be saving somewhere in your mattress or whatever. But he was disappointed. I know from the tone of the note that he was expecting me to explain whole life, dividend paying life insurance with a mutual insurance company. That's a really big subject. But I really do appreciate the fact that he took the time to write. And I take that to heart, in that he took that time and told me that this is what I was expecting and I didn't get it. And so that's a demerit on me. And I want to communicate with you. I want to have a two-way conversation. Unlike this is just one way. So I really appreciate that this gentleman, I shouldn't even say it's a gentleman. I don't know for sure, So if it's a young lady, I apologize. But I really appreciated the comment. I don't get a lot of comments, And maybe this is why, because I tend to look at things from the 30,000-foot view, I now understand the product, and so to me it's pretty simple. But if you've never known about it, I didn't know about it 4 years ago, and now I really understand it because I've been studying it and everything around it pretty heavily for 4 years and continue to do so. So the point I want to make is, thank you for commenting. Please do send more comments, questions about anything. I'm rather philosophical. I like to read the Stoics. I like to read history. I like to read about business and finance and and all of that kind of stuff. So please do reach out to me for anything. Just to have a conversation, to get to know one another. That's probably a really good place to start too. So I want to honor... Oh, let me just tell you a quick story. So I'm just this morning watching a video. This guy, David Brooks, was talking about his new book, and I won't get into all of that, but it's about communicating with each other. And a professor friend of his was a little perplexed about getting on the train. They're Yale professors, so they're professors, they're writers, and all of that. But his friend decided to do an experiment, because he would get on the trains to go into school and all that, go to the university, and everyone was looking at their screens, and he was like, geez, nobody's even interacting anymore, on this one-on-one level, which is what I love, but anyway, he decided to do an experiment, and it was that he got people to agree to start conversations on the trains or in their travels with strangers, and he paid them $100 to do this. And then they came back and told the stories, and all this stuff. And as it turned out, we have badly miscalculated that people are wanting to just be private. That in fact, through this study, he discovered that people really want to connect. They want to go deep. And so when this gentleman, I'm going to say it's a gentleman, excuse me if it isn't, reached out to me with this comment about my presentation, if you will, I really want to honor that and say thank you, because of the connection. Just as simple as it was a connection, and it actually will help me, and maybe someday he and I will connect. And to honor him, I thought that I would just quickly go over some things about whole life. Why we want to start using whole life in our lives. First off, it's a private contract that the government, any banks, any credit, people can't see what's going on inside of it. It's very private, which has its place, There is a death benefit attached to it. That's how most people relate to this product. But it's more than just about a death benefit, although that is a very important thing to protect your family. They're expecting that if you're in, let's just say you're in your 40s, and you're making a certain dollar amount and your income is going up, there is a certain amount of income that you're going to make over your working life. And that's really what you're insuring. Now, I just started one in February, this past January, February, on myself at 67, because I still need a place to store my cash. It's a wonderful place to store cash, right? Most of us store it in a bank down the street or a bank across the country, who knows? But we store our cash somewhere. Some of it goes into maybe a 401k, which is another discussion, and CDs, whatever, a savings account now, because they are starting to pay a little bit. It's a great place to store your cash. It gives you a death benefit. It gives you, and then you have a rise in cash value, that you actually create a pool that you can access privately without having to explain yourself as to why you want the loan. So you don't have to have 2 years of tax returns. You don't have to negotiate terms. You know what the interest rate is going to be with the life insurance company. And most of the time, it's lower than what the marketplace is asking. So right now, they're all over the place, meaning one life insurance company is 5%, another one is 5.8%, one is maybe 5.5%. So they're different because they can choose what they want to do as well and how they're going to manage the company. So there is an interest rate to taking a loan, but it's generally lower than the marketplace. You don't have to, as I said, give them tax returns. You don't have to tell them why you're borrowing the money. And you create the terms rather than the bank telling you what the terms are going to be. You create them. I had a question one time, when we take a loan from the insurance company, are they going to set up the terms and the repayment? And the answer is no. You do that. You say, maybe I'm going to pay back $500 a month or $200 a month or $50 a month. And maybe you want to skip a month. You can do that. Maybe you want to skip 2 months. Maybe you want to skip a year. Who knows? So there's that. Also, if you use the product and understand the product, taking loans and all of that, withdrawals, if you understand all those mechanisms, you potentially will never pay taxes on any of the money that's going in and out of that policy, meaning borrow it, buy a car, make the payment, a $300 payment back to the insurance company for the car, just like you would do with a regular bank. Over time, you pay it off. You end up still having that bundle of cash in the pool inside the policy, and you have the car. There is uninterrupted interest growing inside that policy for the rest of your life. Because when you go to take a loan, you are actually taking it from the general fund of the life insurance company and not touching the money that you had sent. Therefore, it compounds uninterrupted forever. Yet you can use it because you can borrow against it. And so when you borrow against the general, you take the cash, you have the cash value, you take some money, a loan, whatever, it continues to grow because you didn't take it from your policy, you took it from the general fund. So it grows and grows and grows and grows. And that is powerful. Einstein said, eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Well, I would say uninterrupted compound interest. And those are just a few things that you can do with whole life. Anyway, so I wanted to really say that I really appreciate the comment, and I implore you to ask a question, make an observation about whole life or about anything that's of concern to you that you'd like to know about. So I'm encouraging you, this is a one-way conversation, but we can have a two-way conversation. I'm also encouraging you to reach out to the people around you, wherever you are in the world, to reach out to them, sit down with them. I'll tell you a quick story. We went to a little bar with my daughter and her boyfriend and my wife, and we went to this place that I had never been before, but it's out in the country. Living in farm country, it's out in the country. It's in the middle of nowhere, small little town, farming community, right? Cornfields, soybean fields, everywhere. And we walked in, and I walked in, and everyone looks at you because, It's a tight-knit group. And I walked in, and a couple were sitting at the corner of the bar and said hello, you know, and I just went right in and started talking. And we had a wonderful conversation, total strangers. Ended up exchanging phone numbers because there was a service that I wanted that this one of the gentlemen actually provides. Got to know the woman that was sitting next to him. Turns out I know her dad. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. And this is in the middle of nowhere. So if you're riding on a train in a city or a cab or whatever, Uber, and there's somebody in there, have a conversation. We are a connecting species. It's a gift that we give to each other. So anyway, I guess the way I'll finish it up here is just to say, just reach out to each other and connect and ask good questions. And thanks again to the person that made the statement about I thought I was going to learn about whole life here. So keep asking. Please share this, subscribe to my channel. That would be very helpful. And until next time, God bless.